In this lesson here, we're going to talk about ways to reduce fractions. One thing that I learned over time is that if you have an even number over an even number, and so hopefully we know that our even numbers are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on and so forth. So if we have an even number over an even number, we're going to divide by an even number. And if that still is a little hard, we can always divide by 2. Because one thing we know about even numbers is that they all are divisible by 2. So an example of dividing an even number by an even number, let's say we have 4 over 8. We can divide both the top number and the bottom number by 2, and that gives us 2 over 4. Well, we still have even numbers here, so what we'll do is divide again by 2, and that leaves us 1/2. Now, another thing we could have done was divided both the first numbers by 4. 4 divided by 4 would give us 1. 8 divided by 4 would give us 2, and so we still would get the same result. Another example of dividing even number by an even number, let's say we have 6 over 18. Okay, here we can start again dividing both the top and bottom number by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 18 divided by 2 is 9. Well, now we have an odd number over an odd number. And the way to divide or reduce an odd number by an odd number is to divide by an odd number. And so going back to our example, we have 3 over 9, and both 3 and 9 are odd numbers. So what we would do, we're looking for the smallest number that we can divide evenly into both. And in this case, it would be 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Another example of an odd number over an odd number would be 7 over 21. Now here, we know that 1, if we were to divide both the top and bottom numbers by 1, we would get the same number. So we don't ever want to do that. We know 3 does not go into 7 evenly, but it does go into 21. 5 also does not work. So the next odd number we would divide by would be 7. And so we know that 7 goes into itself 1 time, and 7 goes into 21 3 times. So that is dividing an odd number by an odd number. And the last example that we have when we're dealing with reducing is an odd number over an even number, or an even number over an odd number. Now this one here gets a little tricky because we can't divide 2 into an odd number. But the good thing about it, we are still going to divide by an odd number to reduce. And so an example here would be 3, which is an odd number, over 12, which is an even number. So the rule says divide by an odd number to reduce. And so here we would divide both numbers by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And that's an example of an odd number over an even number.